If you've ever worked out, you probably have at the start of your journey into lifting or, any other fitness endeavor, you've probably gone for the big three. Well, the classic gym bros big three: creatine, protein powder, and BCAAs. These are the first three supplements probably you've looked into when considering performance enhancement into weightlifting, mostly. BCAAs, however, the topic of this video, and EAAs, may I say, they have been shrouded over recent years due to the supplement market just being chaotic enough that there is so many supplements out there that are being popularized and advertised that they have kind of been dulled, like as a prevalent supplement in the supplement market. I think that's for good reason, though, and I'm going to get into it in this video about why BCAAs and EAAs are not as good as people think. Well, they're useless in a lot of circumstance. I'm not going to go after any brands here, but I'm going after the supplement itself and some evidence I'm going to show you, into my opinion, about this. So starting off, I'm sure you've probably seen this lovely gold tub in supplement stores, say in the UK, probably Holland and Barrett, or in a supermarket, or a Sports Direct even, However, this is kind of one of the it's annoying because this tub, it's got great branding. It looks very appealing to the eye. Gold standard. Oh, doesn't that just feel like you are getting the best? I thought when I first started getting into supplements that this was, it was the gold standard. It sold me. And I guess that's kind of an insight into the psychology of supplements. When you're first getting into them, you will see this and think, well, I mean, surely. But BCAAs, questionable. And if you've ever seen before, these Impact EAAs, Impact just buzzword. EAAs standing for essential amino acids, okay? And BCAAs, branch chain amino acids, okay? So what is it that makes what makes me question these supplements? So amino acids, these are your body's 20 essential amino acids, the 20 that are used in your body for multiple processes in hundreds of different ways, and even now we struggle to track which amino acid is used for which process. However, we do have a great knowledge, great understanding of these. For example, let's go with histidine. This is used in the production of histamine, which is used for inflammation and reaction to allergies in your body. It's the reason why you get rashes. It's the reason why you go red, That's one example. Phenylalanine. This, I'm not too sure what it does, but you've probably seen it on the side of Coca-Cola cans. It will say source of phenylalanine. I'll try and give another good example. Alanine. We've talked about alanine before, but the version of it called beta-alanine, you've probably heard of that supplement before. That is another essential amino acid. Arginine, you may have heard of as a supplement used in pre-workouts, maybe in different forms. Glutamine, that's a neurotransmitter in the brain, used for excitatory function, which means in like a stimulatory molecule in the brain not the depressive molecule in the brain. So yeah, it's very important in the neurons in your head. Tyrosine, that's used in the production of dopamine. It is in the dopamine pathway, 2 steps above it. So you get tyrosine, then it turns to L-DOPA, and then it turns to dopamine. And that's how dopamine is produced in the body. And then obviously as many other uses for loads of these two, ignore these. They're not essential and you don't really need to worry about them. So what makes a BCAA here and an EAA? What is involved in these? So BCAAs in every product will be the same thing, okay? They will always be, where is it? So leucine, that should have an E on the end of it, isoleucine, and valine in a branched compound. So these 3 together, bound together as one molecule. So these, I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, that's a shame. Maybe, oh, okay, well, we've lost that, but BCAAs are those 3 molecules. I wonder if you'll be able to see on here if it says anything about it. Nutritional information. None. Nice. Oh, well, that's brilliant, isn't it? They don't have nutritional information. However, BCAAs are those 3 amino acids, and essential amino acids are built up of these. Oh, I do not want your course. So phenylalanine, valine, tryptophan, threonine, isoleucine, methionine, histidine, arginine, lysine, leucine. Okay, bit of a mouthful. So what makes this relevant? Why are we taking a random assortment of amino acids? So the idea is these 9 amino acids, I believe it's 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 10 amino acids are not found, are not produced naturally by the body. So therefore you do need to get them through your diet somehow. However, the catch to this is that in a protein molecule, you've heard of protein, I guarantee you. Protein is all, I mean, we did have the photo up here earlier. That's a shame. Oh, here we go. Is all of these 20 amino acids. A protein molecule contains 1 of each of all of these. That is what makes what is called a poly meaning many, peptide. Polypeptide is the scientific word for a protein. So you have 20 amino acids and they create 1 protein molecule. So why are we worried about getting these 10 essential amino acids? So the supplement industry has propagated that if you are not taking these 10 amino acids, then you are going to be deficient or not going to have the proper muscle protein synthesis of what you could have if you're not taking these. So they are sold as a product that you can take, as a powder or pills, capsules, as we just saw here. And the reason why, they sell these is obviously thinking that you're not going to have enough and you need to take these all the time, or else you are just going to wither away, or you're going to miss out on so many gains. But does the literature or studies, however you want to call it, do studies reflect that? Well, straight off common sense, no, it does not work like that. I will quickly bring up this whiteboard to show you. So let's say you have all 20. You have a polypeptide. Let's say this is your polypeptide, blah, blah, blah. Or I can show you actually an image of a peptide. There we go. Here's a lovely image of a peptide. This isn't a full protein molecule, but a peptide just means a type of protein. Okay, so if we did have all 20 amino acids, if we had all 20, why are we adding the extra 10 on if we already have the 20 itself? Well, the idea is, well, how about we do this? So the idea is that you will not get these molecules, but you are. If you're eating enough protein in a day, if you're hitting that famous, oh God, that is a big pen. If you're hitting that famous 1.6 to 2.2, sorry for the handwriting, folks, 1.6 to 2.2, okay, how about I do this? This is meant to be 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilo. Okay, per kilo. That is how much protein the average person needs per kilo of body weight. In this range, you will be maximally having the amount of protein in a day. If you are hitting your protein goals, what use do these essential amino acids or these branch chain amino acids have? Theoretically, nothing, because you are already, all of these contain all 20 of, that says 20, right? Yeah. All 20 of those amino acids. So why supplement with extra EAAs if you already have hit your target? Well, the supplement industry likes to do a wonderful thing of making you panic and, oh, not that, making you panic and think that, oh no, I'm not going to be hitting my protein goals. And basically, we find ourselves in this scenario. We have studies that say ingesting amino acids improves muscle protein synthesis in the young and elderly. Wow. So, Fabe, what are you on about? If it does, this study says that amino acids, if you take them, well, they're going to increase muscle protein synthesis. But if you just followed my logic in that diagram, how is this so? In this study, they basically gave amino acids to people during when they were fasted and, okay, when they were fasted and they weren't being monitored about how much total protein intake they were having. Same goes for another study. Effects of high versus standard essential amino acid intakes on whole body protein turbo and mixed muscle protein synthesis during energy deficit. So this talks about the very important point. If you're taking essential amino acids, how much protein, like, are you going to be getting increased muscle protein synthesis out of it? It talks about it a bit more, but obviously during an energy deficit is the caveat. So these people are, let's say, waking up, going to the gym fasted, but before that they're taking essential amino acids to kind of support the process of muscle protein synthesis, but they're not focusing on getting, say, just, let's say they took 10 grams of essential amino acids. They didn't think about taking just full all amino acids. They call them FAAs sometimes, or a polypeptide, a full protein molecule. They're not taking 10 grams of that. They're just going to go for 10 of the 20 amino acids, thinking that these 10 are the critical ones involved in the actual production of well, not production, but start of, well, the process, that's right, the process of muscle protein synthesis. But no, the body doesn't work like that. Protein is purely a substance used as a building block. And if these bricks for the building are coming as half bricks, you're going to be building a building out of half bricks and the other half of the brick isn't there. And then you've got a building with loads of holes in and it doesn't work. So that's an analogy, but you can kind of understand that it's, why not just use full bricks? Why not use the whole 20? Just use the whole 20 and instead stop just doing 10, 10, and they're all of the same one. So you're missing 10 of the actual amino acids. So you're only intaking these: phenylalanine, valine, tryptophan. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So you're only taking those, and you're missing out on the rest. You're missing out on, let's say, aspartic acid, which is used in making a full polypeptide. So what I'm trying to say is that these people are obviously doing this study, they're consuming these, obviously, like 0.1 to 0.14 essential amino acids per kilo of body weight, and seeing if it enhances muscle protein synthesis. So the results, I mean, conclusions. So high compared to standard EA ingestion. Okay, so yeah, having a higher intake of essential amino acids compared to a more standard, because they basically used two things. One group had a higher intake of essential amino acids, and the other group had a lower amount. The standard amino acids group, as highlighted right there, and the group which had higher intake enhanced whole body protein synthesis during underfeeding. There it is. I mean, it's like literally admitting to the fault of essential amino acids. Yes, if you are the type of person, if you are, say, a Muslim, and you fast a lot, very often, during certain times of the year, even, or you just like a fasted workout, this could be very good for you because it technically doesn't categorize as food. It is a supplement. It is a mixture of amino acids. It is not a food. I guess maybe a grey area for religious kind of purposes, like during Ramadan. But if you are just a normal person, going to the gym and you're taking essential amino acids, it could be useful if you are taking it fasted and wanting to continue your muscle protein synthesis whilst you are doing your workout. If you are that concerned about making sure you are in constant ticking over, constantly repairing, constantly building muscle, I think you're worrying about the wrong variables, to be honest. The problem is, if you're looking at muscle protein synthesis like this, and not on, say, a weekly basis, then you've probably got it wrong. Let's say this is you, and it's 6 till 8 on Monday, really early in the morning, you took amino acids because you hadn't ingested any protein for the day yet, and you're really concerned about maximizing that muscle protein synthesis, even when you're about to have a meal, but you're so worried that you're not going to get gains, and you take essential amino acids at 6 to 8 just so you maximize that protein synthesis and you're getting as big as possible. you are just worrying about the wrong thing. Just make sure you're hitting that 1.6 to 2.2 kilos per day quota for protein intake. And I assure you that this non-important factor of making sure you're constantly on this kind of machine of constantly having muscle protein synthesis, then honestly things will be a lot easier for you, and you're trying to control factors which are not going to have any kind of impact onto your goals. Think about just getting enough protein in. Don't worry about taking EAAs. Okay, just don't worry about it. Forget about taking EAAs, BCAAs as well. The whole thing with BCAAs is that they contain leucine, which is one of the amino acids we talked about. This is just the other study I looked at. But yeah, this is talking about how ingesting just leucine increases muscle protein synthesis because it is the first molecule in a chain in the polypeptide chain. So if you look at this, this is how they're actually created. This is a ribosome. This is basically a protein, like a type of enzyme. The ribosome is an enzyme which basically creates your polypeptide, which is what we called a protein. So this is the production of a protein, this chain. And these individual little molecules are amino acids. And this, you don't really need to worry about this. Like, you're not getting examined on stuff. This is purely for your own leisure. And they're basically bound together, all these amino acids. And when it starts with leucine, and then it will end on, I don't know, the one which finishes it, but it starts with leucine. And the whole idea is that if you take BCAAs, taking this leucine is actually it increases this muscle protein synthesis, and therefore you're going to get bigger. But what if you were to just take enough protein? Did you ever think of that? Basically, it says it basically does work in this study to increase muscle protein synthesis when you're obviously not ingesting protein. But what you need to do is just eat enough protein, and it's going to be dramatically different. These, like an essential amino acid, is going to get you a step closer to, being more, being more strong and stuff. It's like maybe, but it's not that it's the missing factor into why you're not getting big. It's like, if you are hitting your protein goals every day, you do not need to worry about taking any of this, because it's going to provide no benefits to you, because it is just like, if you are fasting, if you don't have any muscle protein synthesis going on because you're not eating anything, then it has a use case. But not if you're eating enough protein, full proteins with all 20 amino acids, then there's no point. So these companies will say reduces fatigue and supports a healthy immune system. Oh, I mean, they've got other things in this one, but I used to take BCAAs. I don't know, but yeah, that's ChatGPT, just basically confirming my opinions. But yeah, EAAs as well. Maybe if you fast all the time and you're so hyper fixated on controlling all variables and the minutiae of training and muscle protein synthesis, that these factors are going to be so dramatically influential on if you do put on muscle, if you don't. It's just not going to be the case at all. And spending £12 on, I mean, let's see how much we have in here. So we have 1.5 milligrams of leucine. Then we have only 100 milligrams of histidine. Maybe they weigh different, like the actual molecule itself. Either way, don't bother. I mean, you can buy them if you want that use case. Nothing against my protein, you know. Sure, whatever. But my opinion, just don't buy them. Don't buy them at all. If you're like, even if you aren't hitting your protein goals, increasing muscle protein synthesis doesn't mean that you produce protein out of thin air. It doesn't mean that. It means that just that you are engaging in the process of that. But if there isn't any, if you run out of amino acids to create said polypeptide, to create that chain of amino acids and create that protein, then you can't make the protein. If you don't have the available amino acids, just get enough protein in your diet and you should be absolutely fine. Leave BCAAs and EAAs in 2015, like very, very old school. And you'll often see BCAAs in protein powder, as if eating the protein and on top of that you're getting your isoleucine, leucine, and valine. Like that's gonna somehow just increase the use of the protein, but it's not going to. It just doesn't work like that. Biology doesn't work like that. So it's a bit of a kerfuffle, but I hope you understand where the kind of scam is from this kind of ideology. It does have a use case, definitely, but think about it this way. Only if you're fasting and you're looking, only if you're fasting for like long periods of time or very often or on a regular basis, maybe they have some use case to you. And if you are going to, get a brand which has essential amino acids in massive dosages and many servings, because if you are just taking a gram of each one, like you're pretty much just like not going to be getting much out of it. Like the dosage does matter, especially for this, you know. So everyone's focused about the whole make sure you're getting 200 grams of protein in a day, but no one's talking about amino acid dosage when they do get it, because it's the same thing. It's a molecule which is used in the production of protein. The same kind of ideology. But yeah, I think that's about everything. Don't know how long this video has been, but it's a bit of a confusing topic. I'm probably not going to do anything about amino acids because it is just like, it's confusing as fuck, and they're definitely turning down in relevancy. And yeah, it's not something that like needs to be spoken about unless, you know, well, I mean, unless Mike O'Hearn starts selling more BCAAs, we'll see. We'll see. I'll talk about it then. But that's all for now. You've been dosed. See you soon.